Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 9 U.S. destroyer Fletcher. It has 5 main guns, 10 torpedoes, 22 AA guns, and has a top speed of 37 knots. We are on the map Fault Line, and spawning on the west side, I headed towards the west, naturally. As I made contact with the island chain, I saw the enemy torpedo bombers flying over. It seems that a carrier has also spawned on the west side, and has sent their attack squadrons towards the west. Now, a lot of commentators will say, turn your AA off at the beginning of the game. And first, let's dodge this torpedo bomber. And we have to slow down and we turn, but we're still alive. For me, I choose to control my AA based on the situation. So, there's an island blocking line of sight for all of the enemy ships. There's no threat that the enemy could possibly fire on me. And man, does this guy really want to sink me. He uses 3 squadrons, and they're ineffective. But as long as the islands are in the way, your AA can be effective. There's no threat that gunfire will land anywhere near me. And I already know I'm spotted. I might as well have AA help out a little bit. Maybe they'll soften them up just enough that a cruiser or a battleship could take 1 or 2 aircraft off the attack. So it feels like 2 carriers have attacked with all of their squadrons, and they were very ineffective. Part of that is they chose to attack a destroyer, and a destroyer is just not worth the effort. You really need to go after battleships and carriers. The Fletcher is a very effective U.S. destroyer. It's not quite as good as the Gearing, but nothing is. The torpedoes have a range of 10.5 kilometers roughly. It has a speed of 66 knots, and you get 10 of them. So I see that this enemy Cleveland has decided to move in on the west side, and this is my territory. So I'm going to set up a surprise attack with my torpedoes. And I'm deciding narrow or spread. And of course I'm going to use narrow for this situation because the Cleveland is right behind the island. His scout plane's right next to me. I want to take it out. I don't want him to see me. And there he is. You see where he is? 3.7 kilometers away. Now we only have a window to fire 1 set of our 2 torpedo sets. Unfortunately, one of the torpedoes makes contact with the island. Another one makes contact with the other island. So we only have 3 going towards this Cleveland. And he is maneuvering hard to port. His captain's yelling. And he is able to dodge these torpedoes. And we think, initially, we'll have a chance. We'll use our next set when he overcorrects or commits to another line of thought. But we think better of it. He's staying basically level. He's not maneuvering at all. He's not going to give us a good shot with our torpedoes. So we're just going to get a couple bits of damage. The Fletcher's guns are very effective, especially against a Tier 6 cruiser. He returns fire, but he doesn't see us. And now that we are far enough away from him, we are able to see that, for some reason, everyone on our team decided to come this way. So I'm going to start heading back towards the center of the map. The Fletcher is a very strong ship. I'm top tier. I need to carry. I need to find an enemy and take him down. And I spot my next victim. These 2 battleships who think they're so hot that they can just come down the 3-4 line. I don't know why South Spawn would go 3-4 line. They probably are reading that there's too many enemies, our friendlies, outside a line of sight, and they are. They're all around these islands, and they're unable to answer these battleships. So I'm trying to take out that scout plane, so I have complete surprise, but it looks like he's going to maneuver away, and I'm going to be under the umbrella of spotting. I will have to deal with the Colorados having knowledge that I'm coming this way. But that's never stopped me before. I'm one of those guys, when I'm in a destroyer, I feel like I can take on the world. And you kind of have to play the destroyer like that, or you're going to give up a lot of chances at having successful torpedo attacks. So these two Colorados are basically sailing exactly as predicted. They're coming up, they're trying to get behind the guys that went west. I send out one narrow and one spread in an attempt to do damage to both of them, maybe kill one of them. That was the thought process. I know I'm spotted, I don't have smoke. I'm just setting up in a neutral stance so I can maneuver based on the guns coming in. But it looks like my torpedoes are going to make contact. Looks like one battleship maneuvers and takes one. He caused flooding there. 2 hit, 3 hit, and boom! We take out one of the Colorados. 4 torpedoes hit, 3 on one, 1 on the other. And we cause flooding on the remaining guy. So we're just going to pecker him. We're going to poke him. We're going to just keep firing. And you notice whenever I, quote, set him on fire, I didn't actually set him on fire. That means he's in the process of using damage control. He is basically immune to fires and flooding for 15-20 seconds after he activates the ability. But now, clearly, he's on fire, so it's off of him. And he's just taking tons of fire from the friendlies that are around me and myself. And sometimes the spread's not true, but we're able to help kill this guy. And just like that, we took out 2 Colorados that thought they could flank us. But clearly, Eastern not having as much success as us. They all were wiped out, and now there's an enemy close to our base. So I'm headed back to our base. My initial goal was to confront the enemy battleship, possibly use torpedoes, and kill him. I don't have any knowledge of what could be out there. I just know that this enemy battleship is right next to the base. And it looks like my team is aware of it too. So the battleships start heading back, the cruisers start heading back. And I believe the carrier is sending his torpedo squadrons. Actually, it looks like they're just hovering over a friendly cruiser. So it's really on my and a friendly cruiser and the 2 battleships that have range, because they basically have range when they spawn. So me, couple battleships, a cruiser. It's our job to take out this battleship and any other enemy that might show up. And right now, he has no idea I'm in this area. He could have worked it out that I would head back, but I have about 2 kilometers to work with while being stealth. You can see that the torpedo range is effective. It's just whether I choose to use it or not, and I see that I'm spotted by this torpedo bomber. And yes, I don't have situational awareness, but playing the game, I just have a understanding that the enemy sees me, and my torpedoes are going to be less effective because of that. And I try and help out this fighter. He's just getting manhandled by a couple fighters. And unfortunately, we're unable to save the squadron, but we're doing pretty good damage. Poking. You know, Destroyer AA is kind of like a mosquito. It really doesn't have any ability to kill or hurt the person. They're just annoying. And just this constant bombardment. To me, if you're going to attack a destroyer with your torpedo and dive bombers, that's a win for the enemy, because you're wasting your potential. It's just too hard to hit these ships. And oh boy, there's an enemy cruiser that sees me, and oh man, he straddles me. He hits long and short. I bet he was frustrated with that shot. But this enemy is sitting there. Looks like he's about to run into my torpedoes. We'll see how effective they are. I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2, if that, will make contact with the hull. And he just barely avoids that back torpedo. 1 makes contact, does a lot of damage, but doesn't cause flooding. And we're going to try and get in range to do a finishing blow. And it looks like... oh, friendly is unable to finish. Is there someone else who's going to finish? Oh, we're just barely not going to be able to get this. Yep, someone gets him. That's okay. We were able to take out the enemy battleship. We were able to defend our base. And we're only 1 ship down. We don't... oh! And there is the New Orleans that fired on us for that brief moment in time. Now, he's in range to see me. There's nothing I can do. I don't have any smoke. All I gotta do is maneuver. That's the only option I have. So I set up as a neutral stance. I'm moving away, and I'll be able to maneuver based on the rounds coming in. This is a very hard shot for the enemy. And he lands one, and I can't afford to take more fire. And this evil enemy destroyer has chosen poorly by being on the other team. And I'm going to try and take out the Sims. He's a easier target for me to kill. And I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? There's aircraft everywhere around me. I'm totally visible to the world. And he's popped his smoke, so he has the advantage. And I just want to outmaneuver him. I just, you know, they're not going to cap. We clearly can attack them and keep them off the cap. And I see that this cruiser is broad with me. So I'm going to send out my torpedoes and try and hit the hull. Maybe the smoke will hide that the torpedoes have been sent out. And we're just going to start... you know, look at those. Did you see that? 3 battleships hiding behind an island? Come on, guys. I just confirmed that my torpedoes are on track. We'll see how effective they are. It looks like he's able to outmaneuver them, unfortunately. Doesn't look like any are going to make contact. And just more aircraft are coming in. Oh, he overturned, and he actually made contact with the leftmost torpedo. At that point, I was chuckling a little. I was like, it looks like he used damage control, because I don't see him having any more dot left. And just constant aircraft. Torpedo bomber makes it through, is able to drop some torpedoes on the friendly battleship. I'm not really in range to do damage to that. But since I am visible, I'm just trying my best to try and maybe take one out before it comes in range. But speaking of range, this Sims is now in range. And now I can effectively fire on this guy and land most of my shots. And he dodges. But we're going to fire as if he's going to do the same dodge. And he kind of turned into it. And for that, we took out his engine. We land our next salvo, and 1 more to go, and he's dead. And that Sims is gone. 1 more enemy to go, and we'll have successfully defended the cap. He's burning. Oh, he just put out his fire with damage control. And I would love to land this salvo. Oh, barely alive. And a friendly finishes him off. Great. Now we have a ship advantage. Where we started this process, we were 1 ship down. And all we got is this cruiser, who is now overextended based on the enemies he sees in front of him. Don't have any support, I'm gonna retreat! You're not going nowhere, kid. We're gonna go after you with our guns. We only land 2, but we're able to do 1,200. We're aiming just a little too high. He's turning real harsh, you can see it. You can just see the DPS of the U.S. destroyers laid here. Gotta get this Legion We're just constantly firing. There's an enemy battleship, but it doesn't appear that he's ever interested in us right now. He definitely wants to fire. This Pensacola wants to fire on me. And I don't know where that shot went, but it didn't go at me. And this should be it. Yes, it is. See you later, Pensacola. Let's move to this battleship. He is aimed at the friendly battleship that is right next to me on my port side. I really would love to kill this guy before he kills that guy. And we're just missing slightly. The Colorado is the Tier 7 U.S. battleship. It's the last slow battleship in the U.S. battleship line. And we have an advantage, is we're 2 tiers higher than him, and our guns are very effective if we land them in the large smokestacks, the command tower, that sort of area. And he fires at us because the battleship's dead, and ooh, baby, we take 1 round. We're still alive, though. And I don't believe he can fire again. So we're just going to continue to fire. We really want to kill him. We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Probably not enough time to finish off the game and win, but we could get as many ships as we can. And I slam into the island, and we kill him with our last salvo, which is awesome. So, for some reason, this carrier decided to sail towards us. Maybe he wanted to be a good sport. Maybe he's out of aircraft. I don't know. But he's definitely going to be my next target. You can just see with these large carriers just how easy it is to land these shots. And just look at the damage. I just backed up from the island and I'm on my way. But, you know, every salvo we're doing 2.5k. And he's going to die real fast with a 4-second reload. We're able to earn Confederate, which is awesome. That means we've done 30% to 6 different targets. So that's a lot of damage for the game. But as a high tier, you really need to do this. You need to be that successful. And friendly kills them, but man, we're able to take out all of these ships, defend the base. We were able to deal with all the AA going off, all the aircraft flying over. It was a hectic game, but in a game like this, even a draw feels like a win. You know, we're sailing towards the enemy base. There's 45 seconds left. There's no way we're going to be able to kill this carrier, but it doesn't take away from this game. We were, right off the bat, we ran into enemy torpedo bombers. They attacked us. We were able to basically absorb the first assault of one of the 2 carriers. And for that, maybe a friendly ship was able to survive because of that. And we were able to use them later in the game to keep it even so we could potentially finish the game at a draw. And, you know, that's what you got to do. As a destroyer, you need to find enemies, take them out, like we did with our torpedo, and you also need to report the location of the enemy. You are jack of all trades. You really do feel like that. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this Fletcher. I enjoyed earning the Confederate and the devastating. You know, I was near the top with a North Carolina. It's great for him. Both sides had a lot of points scored. You know, a draw is unfortunate, but in a game like this, it was a win for me. Able to do over 110k damage. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys next time.